He's Ozzie Smith. How are you, Ozzie?
Hey, Rich, how you doing, man?
It's better. I'm better for talking to you. Did you ever consider playing basketball, Ozzie? Did you ever have that in you?
Yeah, Eddie Murray and I played a lot of basketball together in high school and stuff, and we really enjoyed that time. But when I went to college, I had to do some soul searching, and I realized that baseball was really what I loved doing more than anything else.
So you and Eddie Murray played on the same high school basketball team?
We went to Locke High School there in South Central Los Angeles, and he was drafted. We graduated in '73, and he was drafted by the Baltimore Orioles, and I had to take a different route. I had to go to college. I went to a little small school there in Central California called Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Oh, sure. I've heard of that.
Where I didn't get drafted until 1977. I got drafted by 1976. I got drafted by the Detroit Tigers, which they also drafted Lou Whitaker and Alan Trammell. They offered me $8,500, and I felt that if they didn't give me $10,000, they weren't going to take a real good look at me. So I went back and asked for an extra $1,500, which they said was not in the budget. So I went back to school in hopes of getting drafted again my senior year, which I did by the San Diego Padres. And being a good businessman that I am, Rich, I signed for $5,000 and a bus ticket to Walla Walla, Washington.
Wow. So you're not going to be on Shark Tank, Ozzie, is what you're saying.
No, I'm not.
Well, look, everything happens for a reason. At least that's the philosophy I grew up with and that I share today. And look what all turned out for you. But when you see the amount of dollars that's getting thrown around today, it's insane, when you think about that.
It's amazing, to watch what is happening. But it's progress. And I tell people I was just born a little early. I blame my mom. I was born too early.
What do you make of the new generation statistics, Ozzie? Like, say, if your career had been measured by things like exit velocity and things of that nature, these new stats, what do you make of this?
I don't know. It just becomes, to me, more bargaining points because at the end of the day, either I caught the ball or I didn't. Either I was safe or I was out. Either we won or we lost. And if you're going out there to do your job every day, you let all of those other things take care of themselves. If there's a guy on third base with less than 2 down, it's my job to get him in. If there's a guy on and no outs and he's on second base, my job is to get him over. And we never altered from that. That was the way that we were raised. That was the way we were taught the game. That hey, it's the little things that over the long haul of 162 games that are going to win games for you and win more consistently for you. So that was the way I was taught. That's the way I played the game, and I wouldn't change that for anything.
Ozzie Smith, Baseball Hall of Famer, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show, and the All-Star Game's just around the corner as we are heading towards July. Who was on the team with you in '81 that you look back, your first All-Star Game, your first of 15 of them that was on that, and is someone that you marvel today that, wow, I played on an All-Star team with that guy or against
Well,
that guy?
It was all of the greats at the time. Michael Jack Schmidt, Gary Carter, Tim Raines, and all of the greats that I had a chance to play against at that particular time. And I always looked at the All-Star Game. I hear guys now say, well, I don't really want to participate in the All-Star Game. How could you not want to participate in the All-Star Game when that's the stage to be on, when you're considered one of the best, or people take their time to punch your name out on a ballot? I couldn't wait to have the opportunity to be on that stage to see whether or not I was worthy of being there and stuff. So I always took it. I never took it lightly. I always took it as an honor to be named to an All-Star team, and I took it with a lot of pride.
Well, I mean, was there anybody on the back end of their career in '81 who, a great from the '50s or '60s, or that you got to play with or play against?
No, it was just being there. I can remember there was a play that I made late, and how Tommy used to hug all his players and everything, and Tommy Lasorda was managing the team at the time, and I can remember the guy after I made a short hop play over the middle there. I think it was Lance Parrish that hit a ball that bounced over the pitcher's head. I short hopped and threw it and kept going to the dugout, and Tommy gave me a big hug, and they started calling Tommy my dad and stuff. So it was those type of moments that you remember the most from All-Star games. And it was just a lot of fun, man, to be around the guys that you competed against. And growing up, I never looked at myself as one of those guys, you know. So it was very special for me to have the opportunity to be on the same field with both the greats from the American League and the greats from the National League. What a stage to be on.
Ozzie Smith, Hall of Famer, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. How did it start with the standing backflips, Ozzie?
Well, you know, when I got drafted and made it to the big leagues in 1978. After we got done working out, we had to run a couple miles, and I wasn't very fond of running. So I was at the back of the pack, and I had Gene Tennis, I had Raleigh Fingers, I had Dave Winfield, I had Gaylord Perry, older guys who were giving me a hard time about being the young guy and being at the back of the pack. So to show the guys that I wasn't tired, I did a round-off backflip, and Gene Tennis had girls that were involved in gymnastics at the time, and he wanted me to show them that I could do that at some point in time during the season, which we weren't able to do. So Fan Appreciation Day, which was the last day of the season, he and the PR guy thought it would be a great idea for me to go out to my position and do that. And in San Diego, I was a little reluctant to do that because the entertainment was the chicken. I reluctantly did it, and lo and behold, it became my trademark.
Now, you were reluctant because you didn't want to show up the chicken? Or
Yeah, I didn't want to show up the chicken, and I didn't want to be labeled as a hot dog, you know, because that could be taken the wrong way. And I certainly didn't want to be looked upon as that. But, you know, they convinced me that people wouldn't look at it that way, and people liked it so much they asked me to do it opening day the following year, and trademark was born.
The trademark was born. Nobody ever came in spikes up, slid hard over that sort of thing with you, Ozzie?
No, not really. I mean, guys always slid hard, and I knew that they were always going to slide hard because that was their job. Their job was to come in and break up the double play. So I was always well aware of that. When I look at the rules and things that they have now, I go, boy, they're taking it easy on guys now. We always had the threat of guys coming down, and I can remember some of the guys who were great takeout artists, you know, Terry Whitfield, Lonnie Smith, Bill Madlock, Dave Parker, Billy North. They all got down there so quickly, you know. So you had to be on your toes at all times and aware of the fact that the guys were coming to take you out because that was their job.
Bill Madlock. I haven't heard that name in a while. He could be nasty, and now that'll get you suspended, Ozzie. Now they've changed the rules.
It's a lot easier these days, you know. But it's the changing times.
It is that. When was the last time you did a backflip? When was that last time?
2002, and it was not pretty, Rich.
What do you mean?
It was not pretty. I scraped my knee. I pulled a calf muscle. Messed up a pair of pants. It was ugly.
Well, what if we put you in some sort of apparatus and a trampoline, or
you'd have to put me in some type of apparatus to do it today.
What? Even if we gave you some time to train, anything like that? What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I would need a long time to train.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm scared now, Rich.
Okay. Last couple of minutes here with Ozzie Smith, Baseball Hall of Famer. Who's the shortstop you like to watch today? That you say, you know what, I'm gonna check this guy out because I like his game. Who's that guy?
They're all pretty. They're all very, very good. And let me give you a couple here. You know, Lindor in Cleveland's pretty good. Correa in Houston's good. But the guy that I think has been one of the most underrated shortstops in the game, and I think he's been part of the reason that his team has turned around because he gave them stability that they didn't have up the middle. And that's Brandon Crawford in San Francisco, I think, is one of the most underrated players who does his job every day. You know, it goes about it the right way, not a lot of flash and all of that, but very sound fundamentally and does it the right way, and I enjoy watching him play.
How about that? So what are you doing with Kingsford Charcoal right around July 4th here,
I
Ozzie?
partner with Kingsford Charcoal to continue the conversations like we're having about who people think are the best or who they thought had the best play on a week, the season, and so forth. And earlier this season, we hosted a contest that gave fans a chance to win a VIP trip to this year's All-Star game and talk about the trip of a lifetime for passionate fans to have the opportunity to go down there and see all the stars all on one stage. And now that that's over, we still have a lot of baseball that's left to be played and a lot of grilling to be done. And we still want fans to share their baseball conversations with us on social media using the hashtag #BestOfBaseball. And to continue these great conversations, that's what makes this game so great.
All right, Ozzie. Hashtag Best of Baseball, and check you out on Twitter at STL, for short for St. Louis Wizard. We'll check you out. Thanks for joining, Ozzie. Love chatting with you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
You got it. That's Ozzie Smith, Hall of Famer.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on radio stations across the country and audience.
If you like that video, be sure to download our app, and I'll be sure to move Week 6 games to Saturday for that wedding you have to go to.